And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Mufasa's Daily Book Reading at Noon. My name is Ampal Mgwena, and I will be your reader for today. We are still reading Executive Coaching with Backbone and Heart. This is a book that was written by Mary Beth O'Neill, and we're on chapter 11 of this book now. We've come a long way, and if you've missed any of the readings, you know that you can find them on our YouTube channel. The link to that, to our channel, is on today's description for the live. You will also find the playlist for our previous book in the description of today's live as well. I'm going to set my 10 minutes and I'm going to read to you. I hope you're well and you're keeping safe and you've been enjoying these readings and you found some beautiful gems that you've used in your daily practices as well as in your organizations. 10 minutes is set. I see there's someone who is watching our live broadcast. So hello to you. And if you're watching this in the replay, then hello. Make sure that you leave a comment, hashtag replay, and just let us know which gems you find interesting that we're going to be reading about today. So the title of this chapter is Helping Leaders Effectively Coach Employees. Let me start reading. As an executive coach, you often help clients become better coaches to their employees. There seems to be not a little confusion in the minds of managers as to how to coach their employees. They know there is this hot new management tool called coaching employees. They may have been hounded by their own bosses or their HR department to do more of it, but it's still a mystery to them. Much of the perspective of this book can help leaders coach employees more effectively. However, bosses are responsible for special and distinct performance management responsibilities they must do first before coaching their staffs. In this chapter, we explore areas you need to address when you help a boss become a better coach. One is role clarity, for there are two roles and the boss takes on when coaching employees. The other deals with an effective sequencing of those role responsibilities. Role clarity. When leaders coach, they commonly make the mistake of downplaying their role as the employee's boss. This creates confusion in the employee and unproductive coaching on the part of the boss. An executive who wants to coach his employees must keep his roles clear. In terms of corner alignment roles, a boss is a sponsor and a coach is an agent. As I mentioned in chapter 4, it is possible to play multiple roles, that is, to be both a sponsor and an agent. However, an executive must be clear about which role he assumes at any given time as a way to manage the complexity created by the dual roles. For example, bosses hold employees accountable for results, while a coach helps people improve the skills needed to achieve those results. Bosses who coach both mandate the goals and help people develop the ability to accomplish them. That is no small feat. When a boss coaches a staff member, he never stops being the boss. He cannot pretend to have performance expectations of his employees while he is coaching them. His performance expectations are always there. Bosses hold employees accountable for results, while a coach helps people improve the skills needed to achieve those results. Bosses who coach both mandate the goals and help people develop the ability to accomplish them. There are common pitfalls when people act as both a boss and a coach. One extreme is the boss who soft petals his bottom line expectations because, as a coach, he wants to develop his employees. A boss may try to coach an employee into compliance. Replace the word coach with nag, cajole, or plead. This faulty thinking goes something like this. maybe if I coach them, they'll do what I want. Coaching is not a substitute for performance management. Yet another extreme is a boss who thinks coaching means being directive and giving an employee constant mandates on how to accomplish expectations. Nobody, neither the boss nor the employees, truly enjoy being in either of these two extremes. True coaching of an employee is something altogether different. There are separate and sequential roles a boss should use when coaching an employee. Role 1: articulate performance expectations and ensure that the employee commits to them. Role 2: coach and develop the employee to accomplish those expectations. Bosses should not refuse the two duties, and the first role must be completed before the second. Role 1 places the leader's coaching within a larger context of the work expectations. Trying to coach without first addressing expectations is wasted coaching time and produces poor results. Your job as an executives coach is to help a boss through the sequence so he can incorporate coaching effectively within his management responsibilities. Hello to Ayanda, I see you are here. Hello to Griffin Enterprise Development. Thank you so much for joining us in today's reading. Role 1: articulate expectations and ensure the employee commits to them. Many managers live by the read my mind school of management philosophy. They are not explicit enough with the expectations. Then they wonder why they are not getting results when they coach employees. The leader's first job as a coach is to be clear about the expectations and to gain employee commitment to those expectations. Clarity in expectations means being behaviorally specific. The employee needs to know what the leader wants to accomplish, by whom, by when, and how much decision-making authority the employee has to accomplish the goal. Here is an example of a clear and specific expectations. I want you to head the task force on the new employee orientation. Jovan, Bill, Priya, and Sue will work with you. That's the who. I want you to come back with a program, the length of time each new employee is needed for it, and a draft training manual. That's the what. You have 2 months to make a recommendation to me. That's the when. I want the task force team to have majority vote of the specifications of your recommendations. That's the decision-making authority. Here's another example. You have to handle the conflicts that come up in your department instead of allowing employees to come to me to resolve them. Beginning immediately, that's the when. You, that's the who, will ensure disagreements are resolved so that your staffers are coming to me only with issues that are outside your control. That's the decision-making authority. In fact, I want you to be the one who comes to me with those issues. That's again the who. When the boss has clarified her expectations with an employee, she dramatically raises the employee's chance of success, as well as the boss's. Just because the boss has been clear, however, does not mean the employee gladly accepts the tasks and implements them. Sometimes an employee resists the boss expectations, either explicitly through argument or covertly through lack of follow-through. Rule 1 also includes gaining commitment from the employee, an essential step before moving on to Rule 2. An employee's commitment is shown in 3 ways: understanding the goal, emotionally committing to the goal, taking initiative toward the goal. Without all 3 in place, coaching an employee is premature. Understanding. The employee needs to clearly communicate her understanding of the business goal. Even if the employee does not does not agree with it. She must understand what is required of her and the level of importance the boss places on it. To ensure understanding, it is important that the boss asks the employee to paraphrase her understanding of the boss's expectation. Then the boss is assured that the employee does in fact understand the expectation, meaning everyone is on the same page. And I think we will conclude our reading for today just there. Wonderful reading about executive coaching, um, and helping leaders effectively coach employees. We got into role one, how to articulate expectations and ensure the employee commits to them. And I think this is something that we can use in our organizations, obviously, in our families, our teams, wherever there's an organization, there's a team that you're involved with. Any of these gems in this book and the previous book that we read. So I hope you found something that was useful to you. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link to that is in the description of today's live. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Monday. Remember, our live readings are on Mondays, Wednesdays, as well as Fridays. So make sure that you stay tuned for those readings. You like our Facebook page as well, and you share this video to your organization, team, friends, and family. Thank you so much. My name is Mpho, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.